Welcome, wonderful friends, to the Sunday rune and card readings. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we have additional guidance really from nature and from these beautiful flowers, which have very powerful symbolic meanings and messages to bring through into our readings. So wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to those of you who are tuned into my readings every week. I do post every Sunday for anyone new. And guys, my apologies if I haven't got back to you or responded to your comments, to all of your comments from last week. One of my dogs is poorly, she's elderly, and it's been a beautiful week weather-wise here in the UK. And I have literally just needed to give her a lot of extra TLC and just sit with her. I always think our animal friends, our animal guides, in fact, really bring so much to us. I think they teach us about unconditional love, and it's so important, if they're not okay, if we are able to give them that time that they need. So much of my time has been spent doing some unexpected things, but nevertheless really important. So, you know, please forgive me if I haven't responded to your comments, or indeed don't get round to responding to them for this week as quickly as I would like to. So wonderful friends, we have an incredibly powerful full moon. It's a super full moon on Tuesday in Scorpio. Massive energy of transformation around. So very powerful time. It's also lunar Beltane. So really powerful energetic shifts are possible in any areas of our lives that we are wanting to consciously and actively transform. You know, a full moon is all about illumination, but in Scorpio, very much about transformation, and the whole astro-energetics are primed for transformation. So if you are seeking change, you know, in whatever way, shape or form, whatever area of your life that is relevant to, this is a very incredibly powerful time, especially with the Beltane shift as well, to be consciously engaged proactively in, possibly releasing, cleansing, moving forwards, having doorways open for you. Very powerful time indeed. So let's tune in with the additional energy and messages through these incredibly beautiful plants. Now, anyone that's new to my readings, I post every Sunday and I always draw in some additional guidance. If from the thumbnail at the beginning of the video you already know which reading you want to tune into, the timestamps are in the information box, and they are also in the comments for phone users, along with various other links. I give away a free private reading every month. I give away a first edition pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. So if you want to be in this, there's a link to join the email list and to be in that monthly draw as well. Another link to tune into the big readings that I've done for every sign that run from you know, April, May through to June. Again, those are actually on Vimeo now. But guys, just, you know, the links are all there if you want to access anything, or if you want to fast forward to any of the readings. Now this week, reading number 1 is aligned and tuned in with the energy of the forget-me-not. This is actually representative of true love. This is the soulmate connection. It's not just the blindly in love, that in love state. This is real love of depth, of knowledge, of respect, of soul connection. So reading number 1, governed by forget-me-not. It can also tune in to aspects of the grieving process if we have had to let go of someone we love, or indeed if we are drawing in, quite a strong message coming through already for this reading, if we're drawing somebody in from maybe a past life connection, maybe we've made an arrangement to reconnect with them in this life with purpose. There's something about that coming through already with the energy for reading number 1. Reading number 2, we have cowslips. Cowslips are very much in attunement with the energy of the fairies and of nature spirits. They actually speak of hidden treasures and gifts. So reading number 2, there's something coming through about, and it may come through quite playfully. There's a slightly playful, possibly adventurous, maybe even mischievous energy around reading number 2, I think. But it's about the discovery of the unseen. So something coming to you in an unexpected way. I mean, beautifully in alignment, of course, with the full moon energy, where we can, something can be illuminated. I mean, again, likewise, reading number 1, beautifully aligning with the full moon energy, the super full moon, when we can, you know, especially in Pluto, when something from, you know, the depths, even from past lives, can resurface and come back to us. Reading number 3, we have the magnificent energy of honesty. Honesty is a plant that was used traditionally actually in witchcraft, and it was used in spells for wealth and prosperity. It's also said to offer protection from sort of night terrors, monsters, things that haunt us. So there's something that creates a shift in terms of your availability, I think, to receive wealth and prosperity. Sometimes it's known as a money plant. So very often in the material aspects of our lives, there's something about abundance flowing through and the removal of any anxiety or blocks to that really coming through in the message for reading number 3. So wonderful friends, I'm now going to draw the cards and the runes for anyone that is already knowing which reading or readings they want to tune into. As I've said before, you can access those really easily by checking out those timestamps. Now today we're going to use 3 different packs of tarot cards. This is the Mythic Tarot. I think we'll use those. I already knew it was 2 for each reading. We're then going to draw from, this is the Aleister Crowley pack, the Mirror of the Soul. And we'll draw just 1 from this pack. We will then draw from the Lightseers Tarot. We will draw a card from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as well. And then lastly, in terms of our cards, we will draw runes as well. We're going to draw from the Spirit Animal Guides. So 2 runes for each. There we go. So wonderful friends, spend some time, some of you may already just know which reading is speaking to you, reading 1, reading 2 or 3. You can pause the video if you need to. You may find that it's more than one reading that is speaking to you, but however you approach this, wonderful friends, I will see you in the readings. Really looking forward to these. There really is a very sparkly, magical energy rising. I can really feel the lunar Beltane. We're moving into that space already. I think with all of those seasons, the equinoxes, Imbolc Festival, Beltane, there's a kind of a pivotal shift of energy. And, you know, we can really begin to feel this space where the earth pauses for breath. And we get this kind of energetic shift. So very powerful time around this lunar Beltane full moon, deep diving into Scorpio with profound opportunity for, I think, windows of opportunity to become available to us, illuminations, cleansing, letting go, the stuff that is there every full moon anyway, but particularly with a super full moon in Scorpio, very, very powerful, energetic. Wonderful friends, I will see you in the readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1 with the lovely energy of beautiful forget-me-not, representing true love, lasting love. Very powerful messages that were coming through right at the beginning. So let's see what our runes are showing us. So we have the rune of strength. And we also have the rune of, I was about to say the rune of discernment, which it is. It's the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. The rune of the warrior does speak about discernment. The need to let go of something, to cut away the old, is literally quite interesting. It's as if, maybe there's a block to true love or something lingering that's in the way. Let's look at our cards rather than diving straight in. Yes, 4 of Pentacles. There's some work that needs to be done, which is very much associated and connected to. It's not so much letting go, as opposed to not holding on to. Okay, now let's if we can define a difference here, guys. It's like, it's about not holding on to something. There's something that you need to not cling to, because a shift is coming. The wheel of fortune is shifting, it's turning. We have the 2 of Swords here, the card of peace. This is really suggesting to me that you are needing to, something needs to come to, a completion of some sort, in some way. Let spirit be your guide. Difficult emotions, 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords. So there's some energy here around you that, in terms of love, several messages coming through here, but something needs to be completed. It's like there's something that is lingering. Difficult emotions, let spirit be your guide as well. The rune of strength, for me, this always speaks to me of a move that is absolutely right and proper for you at this time. It's kind of like terminations and new beginnings. So something is needing to come to a completion in order for you guys to then move forwards. It is interesting, as I said, it's less a letting go and more a not holding on to. There's a distinct flavour here. So discernment, right action as well, because clinging to something is going to sort of affect the way in which the wheel turns. Now, the 2 of Swords is, for me, suggesting a completion of something and a coming out of conflict in some way. Sometimes the 2, it can speak of self-protection as well. But if self-protection is coming through for you, I mean, this is a generic reading, but if self-protection is coming through for you, the self-protection is to do with not clinging to something. It's to do with knowing that there is a new beginning awaiting you. You're ready to look at something. You're ready to release something. The cords that tie you is really coming through. I feel, again, I am being shown sort of different pathways, a series of different messages, because it's generic. If it was a personal reading, I'd obviously be drawing cards that would be very specific for your individual circumstances. But what I would say, for some of you, it's as if you're going through something like a divorce, for example, if you're going through a separation, you're being asked not to cling to something. Don't hold on to things because there's no need. Freeing up the way to move forwards. If you try to cling to something of the old, of the past, it's going to energetically block you from receiving the new. In a way, it will tie you down. There's something about releasing things that tie you down, walking that pathway of the warrior. For others, it's almost as if there is some kind of a thinking pattern, a residual pattern. Again, a different message, but a different pathway I'm being shown. And this is curious, because I'm being shown a pathway that now divides into more than one route. And it's almost as if one pathway is really clear, but it's the old familiar pathway. There are other pathways that are open to you now that bring about a whole new opportunity, but there's almost an inclination to follow that repetitive pattern through safety. You're being asked to really consider this quite thoughtfully. Again, it's come from a conflict in the past. Very clear, actually, that actually you've had a relationship in the past where you were not treated well. It's very, very strongly being shown, and it's left an emotional residue to the point where for some of you it makes you feel a little bit afraid of stepping into that space of risk and trust again. But you are being asked to do so. The timing is right. The universe has your back. For some of you, it is letting go of like a limiting belief that came from a previous relationship. Difficult Emotions says, this card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Again, I want to differentiate here between emotions that are connected to a past experience, which we really, really do need to just move beyond. Fascinating, the forget-me-not coming through here, because forget-me-not, really interesting in the very nature of its name, forget-me-not. We don't want to forget the past, because if we do, we don't learn from it. But we don't want to live through the lens of it either. You know, past experiences are there to help us to grow and to enable us to be wiser when we enter a sphere of new relationship again. Do you know, this is really interesting. I have to voice this. I'm so one day going to have to invest in more cameras and have them showing outside. I often draw on nature. Sometimes we have different birds arriving in the middle of readings. What has actually shown up right now in the sky is a cloud formation, and it is exactly in the form of the cross, which is also the two swords here, the peace, but it also actually symbolises the rune of partnership. And that was actually what was coming through. And it's quite interesting because it's a very defined cross, actually, in that very specific way. Fascinating. So, yeah, I do feel it's this energy of partnership that is around you, which leads me to another message that's come through, which is to do with the energy of partnership. The rune of partnership always asks us to not collapse ourselves into the highs and lows of a relationship, the intensity of emotion. You're being asked to walk gently into something, again with discernment. Be conscious, be aware. Use your emotions in the here and now as a tool of navigation. So define the difference. If you're having a wobble, for example, if you're entering a new relationship, and you find yourself old insecurities are raising their head, then listen to the emotions and recognise they're telling you that's from the past and it needs to be, again, left behind, let go of. Discernment. For others, you know, listen to the emotions in the here and now. If you're having a wobble, then it's not about past experience, but it's about an intuitive gut feeling about someone that you're meeting or you have, you know, just started to build a relationship with. Listen to that too. You know, our emotions are guiding us. I remember talking to someone who had really denied any anxiety and fear. She just thought, she had thought when she first entered a new relationship, she tried to dismiss it because she saw them as negative. In reality, they were giving her really important information. The person that she had met actually had quite a challenging aspect to their personality. And, you know, in a way, her gut feelings, those core and the emotional response to them and indeed to him, were actually very accurate signs. And rather than deny them, she needed to listen to them because they enabled her to be a bit more alert. I mean, actually, she did then learn to really tune into her emotions and navigate her way very successfully, actually, within the context of this new relationship, and finding her way through it in a way that really offered her what she needed in terms of safety and protection. So, Eight of Swords is speaking to us about, again, it's letting go of something, letting go particularly something of the past. Ten of Swords is suggesting a completion. So I think for all of you that the overall message here in terms of relationship, there's a lot of energy around here in the new. lot of possibilities opening up. And of course, this is the profound space of, you know, a super full moon, especially in Scorpio. Transformation, opportunity for new doorways to open for you. Let spirit be your guide. I feel as well with the rune of strength, it does really suggest the universe has your back and supports a change in your life. Connecting in with relationship, there is something for all of you that needs to be completed or let go of, whether it is an old thinking pattern, an insecurity from the past, literally a physical happening like a separation or a divorce or an agreement. There's something that has to be moved beyond and completed in order for you to then move into a space of the new. But it's coming. There is the promise of the new here, which is magnificent, because, you know, what I'm hearing within this reading fundamentally is the universe has your back, and this sort of terminations and new beginnings, the energy of terminations and new beginnings is around you, very present. This feels like a very here and now reading. You know, whenever you are tuning into this, I think it's really, your situation is really here and now, really, really present right now. And this is really giving you this guidance, assurance, affirmation that the letting go of the shift needs to take place, because energetically it frees you up to embrace the new and to have, I think, a very new and different pathway. So very powerful, and very much the universe has your back. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. This feels so in alignment with the transformational energy of 2021 astrologically. Guys, I'll put in the information box and the comments, also my Facebook link. I haven't done much posting over the last week due to my poorly dog, but normally I post several times a week with the positioning of the moon and the kind of energetic flavour of the lunar energies for guidance within our manifestations. So again, do check us out on Facebook as well. And if I'm a bit absent, my apologies. But yes, other important things to attend to. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2 with the wonderful, quite adventurous and playful, slightly mischievous energy of cowslips, very tuned into the nature spirits here. So discovery of something, again, coming through really strongly. Okay, this is interesting. We have the rune of journey, which of course is all about discovery. This can literally sometimes mean you're going to go on an adventure, especially with cowslip energy. It more often than not speaks of journeying within. It's like journeying within, removing any blocks and obstacles within to our progress. But I do feel there may be a journey involved, actually, for some of you. You know, a physical journey. You may actually be out and about. I almost feel as if you're being invited to go out and play. Okay, this is interesting. I spoke cowslips, the discovery of something, something unseen. Signs, signals, synchronicities. Be conscious and mindful of unexpected happenings. You're being shown something here. Okay, let's have a look at our cards. So we have the Hermit, Knight of Wands, okay, Prince of Wands. Wow. Two of Cups. This is fascinating. If any of you guys have already tuned into reading number 1, and now you are also tuning into reading number 2, which happens sometimes, people tune into more than one. If you've done reading 1 and reading number 2, I think this flows from reading number 2. Very interesting, because there's something here about, here we have the card Take a Risk and Be Here Now. There is something very, very powerful here about, it's almost, I don't want to say too much about reading number 1 in case anybody hasn't tuned into it and was planning to, but there is a natural flow. This is almost like, this is like the outcome. If you've tuned into reading number 1 and now you're in reading number 2, this is the outcome of that little piece of work in reading number 1. This is full of adventure, of playfulness, of coming together, of love, particularly new love, new opportunity, new possibilities of a relationship. If it's either a brand new relationship or it's a relationship that is moving up a notch to a higher level of connection. It's like passion coming back. The hummingbird is symbolic of playfulness, of getting present, being in the moment. So basically, what this reading is saying is, for some reason, whatever that will be, it's unique to your own personal circumstances. You have become literally a bit of a hermit. Now, it may be that that's been due to the pandemic and to the actual circumstances of your world. But if it is due to those circumstances, something in you has also moved into a slightly hermit-like position. And even though maybe there's the possibility of things beginning to open up, depending on where you are in the world, it's as if a part of you has slightly withdrawn from that possibility. Someone is coming into your world who is really going to ignite your passion. They're going to light your fire. They're going to draw you out. There's like an invitation to come out and play, literally. There's something adventurous, mischievous, and there is the essence of love around you. Now, we just have Knight of Wands, Prince of Wands, King of Wands. What more do you need along with the Two of Cups? It is time for you to venture out, get out of your shell, even if you are still through circumstances confined in any way. Be adventurous, join something, go online, connect up to whatever interests you, a reading group, a singing group, anything that is going to connect you. Someone is coming into your world who is going to seriously fire you up. These are non-gender specific, so whether, whatever your connection within relationship, whether you are, whether it's male or female that you're drawing into you, wherever you are with that, it's time to come out of your shell. It's time to reach out. It's time to travel. You may need to do a little bit of travelling inwards and remove any blocks within, but you're also being invited to travel outwards, that's for sure. Signs, signals, synchronicities, trust. If you are having a wobble, tuning into the nature spirits, the fairies, the magic, the mischief, the curiousness. If you find you're having a wobble and you're able to get out into nature, even if you just go out, wherever you go, open your window, look up into the sky, see what you can see, what do the clouds show you. It's tuning into the potential for signs, synchronicities, for the universe to guide you. I think you're going to see openings. Indeed, really coming through very strongly. If you're able to, depending on the clarity of the skies, if you're able to tune into our beautiful grandmother moon and the transformative energy of the full moon, if you are able to actually look out and see her, tune in with her, if you can meditate into her energy, you'll see what you need to transform. But something here is opening up for you, and it connects to love and relationship. Very powerful. Take a risk. Step out of your comfort zone. Feeling safe and secure is a wonderful experience, but if we remain in our safe zone for fear of change, we create a limiting and restrictive environment that can ultimately lead to stagnation and the loss of our creative potential to manifest our greatest contribution in the world. Let go of fear and take a risk. This really is launching yourself into something that is going to fire you up. I do feel someone is coming into your world and they are quite liberated emotionally. There's a freedom about them. There's a creativity. There's a spark. Now, if some of you, you're thinking, well, relationship doesn't feel right. If it's a business partnership or a business connection with someone, it's very creative. It's going to take you into the realms of something that could really light your fire. But yeah, relationship is around here in essence. That there is fundamentally relationship here. There's adventure, there's playfulness. That this is like an invitation. It's like, come out of the cave. It's time to manifest your greatest potential. to be the best that you can be. And that involves that higher level frequency of desire, passion, excitement, curiosity, playfulness, adventure, however that pans out and however that comes in. Hummingbird spirit is such a reminder to just get present to the extraordinariness of it's things like a flower, you know. I remember walking through a city in the days where, before all the lockdown things, when we could walk through cities, you know, with freedom to, you know, mix and mingle. But I just remember seeing amongst, you know, a mass of concrete, this stunning, stunning radiant. It was actually a dandelion, but it looked like a golden sun, and it just pushed its way through a little crack in the paving. And it just made me really stop and pause and just recognise the extraordinariness. I mean, actually, there was quite a powerful message there for me at the time, because it was about resilience, it was about durability, it was about, you know, recognising that, you know, whatever is going on around us, we make our greatest contribution through being happy, through embracing passion, positivity, and shining, allowing ourselves to shine. There's something about you guys have withdrawn. It's fascinating, and something coming through here which is quite curious. And I will just voice it. It will not have relevance to all of you, but may to some. I had a conversation yesterday, fascinatingly beautiful conversation with someone, and we were discussing clothing. And I remember acknowledging that some years ago, in fact quite a few years ago now, I was living in quite a toxic environment. And one day I opened my wardrobe and deciding what to wear that day to work. And do you know, I realised my whole wardrobe had turned black. I hadn't consciously been aware of it, but whenever I'd bought clothes, it was as if that was the zone I got into, and my clothing was reflecting the energy that was around. I went through another phase, and this is actually last year going into the lockdown. I noticed, you know, I haven't been able to go out and replace clothes, and like many people, I think I put on some weight as well going into lockdown, and I picked a few items up in a supermarket. I suddenly realised most of my clothing was starting to turn grey. The interesting thing is I was much more conscious and mindful of it. So a big shift in my clothing. I am no longer wearing grey. But isn't it interesting that somehow there's something about the energy and how that shows up? There are so many signs, signals, synchronicities that mirror for us. And within that mirror, they enable us to then step out and into a greater space of our fullest contribution. That, wonderful friends, includes being happy, being playful, and just allowing yourself to be present and enjoy. Like, really be acutely aware of those little signs, symbols, synchronicities. And if you have a wobble in any way, if you are starting to venture out of a space of your personal cave, in whatever way that is, your safe zone, ask for a sign. Just ask for a sign. Ask the nature spirits, ask, you know, your guides, your angels, you know, whatever your pathway, your belief system, ask for a sign and open yourself to a level of awareness that connects you into what you are then shown. But this, wonderful friends, it's time to come out of your shell. It's time to go with passion, with desire. And actually, I want to say welcome someone in who is offering you that. Someone is coming into your world who is going to, in some way, literally light your fire. Allow yourself to be present and fully available to enjoy that. Literally live in joy. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. Let's have a look at our runes, see how they sit with the beautiful honesty. So our first rune is the rune of flow. This is the flow of beings into a new space, a new part of your life, a new phase of your life, the ebb and flow of careers, of emotions, of relationships, but something is moving forwards for you. We then have the rune of possessions. Now this is nourishment, possessions, ambition satisfied, unexpected surprises, rewards, gains. So there's something coming through here for you that is, something is moving forwards and coming into being. Again, wealth and prosperity coming through. We have the money plant. So 5 of Wands, you're having to actually navigate something primarily, but there is support available to you. Okay, you're navigating something. It's like you can see the goal, but you've got to, I would say, get it. So if I just tune into the imagery of this card, first of all, 5 of Wands alone. This is the story of Jason and the Argonauts. He's been sent on an impossible quest to get the golden fleece from this serpent, or this monster here. And he's arrived, and here he is faced with this massive challenge. But actually somebody comes to his aid and is able to, I think, bring in some sort of magic potion that sends the dragon or the serpent to sleep so that he can get the golden fleece. So there's something about a goal or an ambition or something that you want and you desire. You may even have been wishing for it. You may, if you are aligning with the moon cycles and setting your wishes and intentions around the cycles of the moon, and I'm seeing several moons, this may be something that you have been wishing for or trying to manifest or bring into being for several cycles of the moon. It may not be an immediate something that you wished for 2 weeks ago at the new moon, but the full moon is bringing it to a head, the energy to a head, because we have the 3 of Cups. This is a card of celebration. So there is help coming in around you. It's like the goal is in sight. You know what you want. Help comes in to support you, and we have a space of celebration. What I would say, though, the 3 of Cups is the space of celebration is, it's like the initial stage of something. So it's a bit like if you have, I don't know, if you'd submitted some, I don't know, if you'd submitted a book outline to a publisher, for example, you know, someone comes along to help you. You get an editor who helps you, or an agent who helps you, something like that. And you get the celebrationary point where it's like, yes, we did it. Unexpected rewards, gains. However, you also need to continue to nourish the ground for your own deliverance. It's not the final completion. It isn't the book is now published. It's actually now you need to write the book. Having done the book proposal, you've got the help and the support you need. You get the validation. It all comes through, but you've now got to actually kind of do the work. You've still got to nourish the ground for your own deliverance. So you still have to invest. Swiftness. This is about clear communication. So I think for some of you there's possibly is a negotiation around in some way. So rewards, gains, but yeah, be aware of conserving your resources in a way that allows you to continue to work and nourish the ground for your own deliverance. However, swiftness, lovely, clear communication, navigate this period, this space of success, of initial success. Navigate this with clarity. Make sure you cross the T's, dot the I's. We have the card of the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles. I want to say, I want to say that you are, whatever this is for you in the uniqueness of your world, again, wealth and prosperity. Do you know, interesting, isn't it? Wealth and prosperity, this keeps away monsters too. There's something about you're having to tackle a monster here. Before I dive into these cards, another message coming through. For some of you, the monster is a monster within. It's that night terror element in your daydreams. It will never happen. It's never going to come to fruition, or it won't work out, or that lack of confidence where you kind of think, oh, you know, I thought it was a good idea at the time, but nobody will want it. It's that sort of space. So for some of you, there's an internal message. The honesty is very, very strong. If you guys are able to access honesty, I picked this in my garden. I actually grew it from seed. Literally, I gathered some seed when I was out walking. There was some growing on the side of the road, and I gathered seeds and I just scattered them, and they have taken. It's the first year they've come up. But even just if you can pick a leaf and just carry it with you, the energy of it is very, very strong. Remember, it was used in witchcraft for spells for wealth and prosperity. So if you're needing to guard against that internal space of self-doubt, whilst moving towards that space of initial fruition, that validation and acknowledgement at a particular stage of your progress, whatever that means in the uniqueness of your own circumstances, you are going to negotiate. This is something to do with your calling as well. Whether this is, I don't know whether you are involved, you know, the Three of Cups can sometimes mean an engagement or the birth of a child. If your calling is to be a conscious parent, you know, it may be that, again, there's something coming to fruition family-wise. For others, it may be that it is some sort of creative project or a work move or just the overcoming of something within yourself. But whatever it is in the uniqueness of your world, there's some clear talking that needs to be done. This is really important though, because it's part of your calling. You are flowing into a new space of being. You are flowing into a new space of personal alignment. Yeah, there is definitely a higher calling to this. And the Ten of Pentacles, I mean, this is the card that's like, you know, you win the lottery. It's that kind of energy. It's the card of success. It's the card in this particular pack that says, wow, guys, you know, everything you could possibly dream of. You know, it's a card of abundance. It comes to fruition. So I really feel that you're at a pivotal point where, if you're having a wobble, I really, really want to encourage you to continue. Persevere. Keep working at this. Nothing is wasted. If you even have to course correct a little bit, okay, if the initial outline of something or the initial viewpoint of something turns out not to be exactly perfect and you have to renegotiate it, you're still on track. It's just you have to negotiate it from a slightly different perspective. Nothing is wasted. Everything you've been investing in is part of the process to have got you to here. This card says take a leap. This card is an invitation to take a leap of faith. Sometimes, even when we desperately desire change, we procrastinate and find all kinds of reasons as to why we should stay as we are. It is completely understandable to be anxious when stepping into the unknown. This card is calling you to trust and make that move. Everything here in this reading is an affirmation of a move forwards for you. It's saying this is the flow of you into a new space of being, reorganizing, realigning, renegotiation, ambition satisfied, something that you are working at, whether it is personally, whether it's professionally, whether it's, I don't know, buying a house, whether it's moving into a relationship, whether it's a project, a new job, whatever you are moving into. Don't let that element of will it work out, self-doubt, close doorways for you within your mind. This is a time where things are opening up for you beautifully. Take that leap, and nothing is wasted. If you feel you have been procrastinating, I want to say cut yourself some slack. Don't give yourself a hard time. Just trust and move forwards. It is time to take that leap of faith. It really, really is. This whole reading is an invitation with a card of the ultimate promise and the rune of ultimate promise, you know, ambition satisfied. That is the Ten of Pentacles. This is your pathway. You're meant to be doing this at the moment. Whatever you are thinking about doing, whatever you've been working at that maybe has been slightly put on hold, whatever you've been contemplating, yeah, your time hasn't been wasted. For some of you as well, I'm seeing that you've needed to actually step back a little bit. I think you needed to replenish, and you understood that. I think you stepped back from something. Maybe you'd invested a lot in it and then stepped back from it. And it's now time to re-engage with that. Sometimes when we step back, because we step off the sort of the momentum that we were in, and we step away from it, we can sort of then wonder whether it was valid. And this reading is saying, yes, it is. Definitely step back up, start to move forwards. There is a clarity of directness. I also want to say that timing is quite important here. Don't lose sight of something that you were doing. actually get back involved in, get yourself back involved in it, pick it back up again. Yeah, definitely don't procrastinate, move forwards, because it does feel as though this next step for you is definitively part of your calling, or it's divinely guided. It is in essence a really important part of your pathway, and we are seeing success, fulfillment, wonderful, wonderful energy of honesty. Yeah, carry a leaf with you if you're able to, or a flower head if you're able to access it. Wonderful friends, this is lovely. There's I almost want to breathe out. It's like a sigh of relief. It's almost like, wow, you guys have so worked for this, and here you are at last. It's kind of like this little transition that you have to step back into, and then it's like, oh, here we are. It feels as though there's something that is incredibly nourishing and fulfilling that is coming your way. So yeah, don't procrastinate, do step forwards, and don't give yourself a hard time or feel that you've wasted time. You haven't. You needed that time out in order to come back replenished, but the timing is now right for you to step back up into that space of activity. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. I so look forward to seeing you for some other readings. I do post every Sunday, and of course you can access the big readings for all signs on Vimeo, and the link is below. So much love to you. Namaste.